Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, we are discussing Agatha, Season 1, Episode 6, Familiar by Thy Side. All that important for this!
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I'm Jeff Randall.
And I'm Ashley Coffin.
What is happening, my friends?
It was Lilia all along.
It totally was.
It was, or was it? She didn't remember doing it, which made me feel like, what does that mean?
Well, you
right?
sigil
Lilia.
it, and you don't remember if you're the witch who did it.
Oh, yeah. It works on you, too.
Yeah.
So, but she didn't even remember him being there. I guess that's the thing. I guess she doesn't remember who he is.
She sees a lot of kids coming in and out of her prophecy tent. I mean, think about being like a worker you do 10 bar mitzvahs a month. Like, how many kids are you seeing?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that a usual thing to have at a bar mitzvah, though? I thought that was cool, but interesting.
I haven't been to many bar mitzvahs. I don't know.
I thought it was interesting. It is like a fun little thing to have at a party, probably, but like, he's not a witchy kid yet, which one of my favorite things in this episode was that when he goes home, if I'm not mistaken, all the posters on his wall of William Kaplan's wall are kind of fantasy and like adventure stories.
Goonish.
Yeah, and then it jumps to Billy Maximov's.
Did you see the Wizard of Oz? The Wizard of Oz stuff
Wizard
in the
of
background?
Oz is on there.
Yes. Yep.
The one that stood out to me was the Black Cauldron.
Right.
Oh, I love that movie.
There's a lot of fantasy stuff, but it didn't seem horror. And
Not like witchy or
3 years
horror,
later.
yeah. It doesn't look like my living room. Let's put it that way.
Right. It's not like witchy horror, but it is magic-y. Like magic and mysticism.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a poster behind the mirror that said Mystic Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, it's mysticism based.
That was later though. That was Billy's.
No, that was
wall,
was
right?
the first time he walked up in there and was like, I am William Kaplan. I am William Kaplan.
Yeah.
Like just trying to convince himself.
Yeah.
And on the shelf behind him, as the camera panned around the room, on the shelf behind him there was a Wicked Witch of the West like figure on the shelf.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know that. Like, we're not this kind of channel, so we're not going to sit here and try to do it too much. We'll throw out the little vague things we noticed, but like, I knew exactly the kind of YouTube channels that I'll be watching this week, where it's like every poster on William's wall.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, I was like.
It's like all the ones that are out of focus and sideways. They're gonna be like, "This is a poster from this. This is a promotional poster from the 1970s." Blah, whatever. Like it's gonna
when
be.
This is just our jobs. We're gonna bury all of those. If I had nothing to do but time, just like to watch it over and over. And then we get it a little early because we're on the list.
Yeah, got to be on the list.
That's the thing that's crazy. Those guys who like. It's an hour after the show, and they've already got those up. And you're like, they got that early. They've
had it for like 2 days. Yeah, it's like Bill gets to go see all the movies like 2 weeks early.
Right.
I'm like, shut your mouth. I'll go. You're not allowed to tell me anything.
So let's get into the bigger stuff that happened this episode, because we always focus on too many small details in the beginning, and we miss the forest for the trees. So let's
very true. They played Orville Peck. That was the most important thing.
That was the most important thing. Thank you.
I'm
Ashley,
literally going to
us
see
on
him
track.
Friday, and my favorite song.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know
sorry,
that song is the song you sent me when you were trying to introduce me to that Orville Peck. The song that's on in the car. That's an Orville Peck song. Really good. What's it called?
Dead of Night.
Dead of Night. Really, really great song.
It was Dead of Night playing while they were in the dead of night.
Yep, apparently so.
Huh.
So big thing is we find out he's definitely William Kaplan. He's Billy Maximoff. He is our version of Wiccan. We knew this, but we get to see actually what happened, and I was pretty surprised. Yeah, I was pretty surprised by some of the stuff that happened. I was on the record last week saying that I didn't think the car wreck thing was necessarily going to factor in. Like that was a theory popping around the internet, and I was kind of like, yeah, it could, but like, but it was very much exactly what everyone was saying. Like that car wreck's going to happen, and then, he's going to go into that
spirit body displacement.
Yeah. I love the twist that Agatha put on it, that like, kind of his first murder. Like that's kind of how she seemed to be talking about it. Like, oh, you haven't done a lot of bad things. Where'd you get this body? Like,
where'd you get this body you're wearing?
Yes.
She was very diabolical in this episode. I enjoyed it. I got everything I wanted out of this from when it started with the backstory. I was like, I don't care if the whole episode is his backstory because we are literally introducing a new character. But then they jumped back and I was like, they went back.
Yeah.
They brought it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. This could have been the first this is an origin story, and this could have been the first episode of a Billy Kaplan show, or Billy Maximoff show. It felt like it made me feel for his character. It made me excited for what was going on. But then when we finally catch up with the timeline, I loved all the stuff with Agatha, getting to see her with the freaking garden hose in her belt.
Garden hose.
Oh my God, yes.
And she just kept holding on with her boner reunion shirt.
Oh my God, the boner family reunion.
Pitch a tent.
Pitch a tent.
I was like, let's do this, Disney.
I feel like, we talked about not burying the lead, but like, there's so many good leads. Like, also Evan Peters showing up.
I know.
Yeah, right. Boner, what was it? Bonerific 69?
Yeah, well, when they said, I go, no way, because I know a couple people had said, what if he shows up? And I think that's funny. He's like, Ralph, damn it, Randall.
Well, no, here's the thing. So I'm confused by that. So his name's Ralph, right? When we found...
His name's Randall.
It's Randall.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. His name's Ralph in WandaVision. And the reason it was Ralph, and then we find out it's Ralph Boner because she finds the headshots inside of his house. But those headshots are of an actor, not of Quicksilver, right? So we always assumed that the headshots were from outside the hex. Like, those are his actor headshots. And he confirmed this episode that he's an actor. So his Ralph Boner headshots, his name being Randall in the real world, like as if
maybe when you bring it in the hex, it changes.
Maybe
it could well be that it's just that he is using a different name now, kind of like a witness protection for himself. Because he said, like, when it came down, he just ran. He left, like, she can keep the house.
Oh, that's a good call.
I left my Blu-ray collection, my entire Blu-ray collection.
That's a really good headcanon, because I think the implication there was, just like they've been calling Mrs. Hart, or Sharon Mrs. Hart, the implication was that was his hex name versus his real name.
Right.
And that doesn't make any sense if Ralph Boner was on his headshot that revealed his real identity or whatever.
Court OB said it in chat just now. Court OB said it in chat just now. Ralph Boner was his witness protection name.
Oh, yeah.
And you remember, that's why Jimmy Woo was there.
He was the witness that they were looking for.
Yep.
Oh, good call, Cordo B. You're totally dead on. Thank you, Cordo B, for being in the chat. By the way, if you are in the chat, hit @StrandedPanda if you want to comment on anything that you want us to see, because the thing goes by too fast for us to read while we're doing it. So hit @StrandedPanda, and we might try to read them at the end.
I lucked out.
Yeah, good call. Good call, Jeff.
I lucked out. I saw it right just at the perfect moment.
Yeah, for sure. That is beautiful. Good call. Good call. Ralph. So Ralph Boner is his witness protection. No, Randall Boner must be his witness protection name, and Ralph Boner is his old life name.
That's what I was thinking, but everybody was like very sure, and I was like, I must be wrong. I'm gonna just keep my little girl mouth shut.
Well, no, I think we were excited about the witness protection connection, like, because that makes sense. And it must not be, it's probably not Boner either. But the fact that he has a Boner family reunion shirt means that his family's name was Boner.
Maybe, and he still chose to use that for the screen name.
Unless that was from before he got into witness protection.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little confusing. So that makes more sense that he's a witness protection, it's not a hex related.
And he killed Sparky. Agatha didn't actually kill that dog.
That's rough.
I knew he had it in it after I saw the Dahmer show, but like, I didn't like hearing it.
She's real Charles Manson about it.
Oh, that's so
I
funny.
didn't kill the dog.
But she said that in the song, and I killed Sparky too.
Because she knows the truth. She told him to, she made it's
she knows.
Death by Dog Association or whatever.
It's the degrees of Kevin Bacon Dog Association. Like, how many levels of Agatha did you go through to kill the dog? Kind of thing. And I love that he was like, and I was such a bad influence on those kids.
Yeah.
Wanda and Vision's kids.
It's really funny because he was just like a regular kind of silly uncle kind of guy.
Yeah, he's fun uncle.
Yeah, he's fun uncle. But like, that's really funny that apparently Ralph /Randall thinks that's like really he's regretful of the way he acted in the Hex because he would never act that way. That's really funny.
Yep. That is cute.
Oh, that's so
I think
funny.
it's funny that we learned that they're calling the Hex the Avengers training exercise gone wrong.
Oh yeah, just a training exercise.
It was just a training exercise. Look over there.
Yeah, that was pretty great. The sigil, the symbol he had, almost looked exactly to me, and I only seen it once, but it looked like the tree that the episode opened on above the split tree. It looked like half of the tree that was in the temple they were in at the beginning, which I thought was kind of neat. At first I thought that's what she was drawing, and then later I realized that was the sigil, which was
as soon as she started it, I was just like, oh, she put this. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, the symbol of the split tree at the beginning, it's two halves of the tree. So if Tommy's out there, he might be the other half of the tree. It's also somehow being hid. She put the sigil. I guess she saw his future and decided to try to protect him by putting a sigil on him, just by pure almost instinct, or saw some part of his future that he was in danger.
She saw the tower reversed in her head.
That's right.
And
what is tower? Do we know what that means?
It's it's not great. Like it's even though usually the reverse card of something of a bad card is usually good. This one's not. It's like, pushing against moving forward in your, future, like advancement. It's like oppression. I haven't looked it up in a long time, Jeff. Go ahead. But it's not great.
I did a just a quick goog of
it's
the
a tarot
tower
card, though.
Like loneliness. Yeah. It's a full one. So how we were talking about there's cups and wands and stuff like that. This is like one of the big ones.
I knew it was a tarot card, and I remember in the promo material, they had the tower with like two people coming out of it, and one of them was like
obstacles.
Like one of them looked a lot like Teen or just Billy in general, but if it's twins coming out of the tower, then like obviously Billy and Tommy. But the AI overview from Google... Oh, yeah,
it is totally twins coming out of the tower.
AI overview from Google says, it can also be a warning that the need for transformation can't be postponed indefinitely. And I was like, oh, that seems fitting.
Yeah.
Oof. So I think she saw his death coming and wanted to protect him, and probably
she also said his lifeline was split.
In two, which could mean other things, but... She saw some sort of danger for the kid, and I think she saw the danger was from witches, which his body was about to be taken over by a traveling witch soul. It's really, really cool. I really enjoyed that whole thing. It was a lot of fun. I also just watched the movie Only You. Have you ever seen that? It's Robert Downey Jr. and Marissa Tomei.
Yes.
Yeah. But the whole movie starts with them as children getting readings, and it was because
it ruins her life.
It ruins her life.
Don't tell me too much. I don't want to know everything.
Oh yeah, that was great. By the way, I wondered, do you guys think that so he's doing his bar mitzvah at the beginning, and he's doing the song. Did you guys think that was intentional allusion to the witches, the other spells we've heard and the songs we've heard in the thing? Even though that's an actual religious ceremony song, that's kind of what all the witches songs we've done so far have been. And so I thought him doing that at the beginning was sort of a connection between like religion and witchcraft and like sort of the things there.
It's all ritual in the end. So, one religion can poo-poo another, but in the end, it's all somebody, it's all written down in a book and you sing it. You sound like little Pippin. I was like, the acoustics in that church. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really pretty.
So many times in media when you see, the singing at the bar mitzvah, it's just like the kid is terrible at singing. Like their voice is usually like cracking 13, all over the place.
And he's obviously not 13. And I was like, I don't care. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that was happening, I was just like, okay, this gives me a timeline. Because the bar mitzvah happens when they're 13. So this is obviously 3 years before the events at the beginning of the show. And then it was like 3 years later. I'm like, yes, I was right.
Well, he said in an earlier episode, a lot happened to me when I was 13 too. And so this was a direct connection to that.
I thought he was going to get his powers and be maybe kind of like mutant-y. And I was like, come on, I thought something was going to happen at the bar mitzvah. And then it didn't. I was like,
yeah,
it's going to be the car.
I love the whole scene where he's trying to figure out who he is and who he should be, and him like freaking out because his parents are worrying and hearing all the different things. It was really beautifully done because it wasn't fear from the parents, it was worry. And so some of the things were really terrible, like what if he never comes back? And he is a kid who is sitting there, I guess he doesn't remember his previous life. It wasn't really completely clear, but he doesn't seem like he remembers what happened in Westview at all.
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't remember his time as William Kaplan, and he also doesn't remember anything from inside the Hex.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's trying to figure out who he is, and they're like just worrying, and it could almost feel mean, some of the things they're thinking, but I liked that it was like a mixture of sort of these like really scared that they're never going to get their son back, and it also feels almost hurtful that they're like, what if he's like this forever, you know? And it was really intense, and it made me really empathetic for him and put me in his shoes, where I was like, man, that is a struggle. And then him deciding to like, I'm gonna soldier up and like muscle the weight of this problem on my own shoulders. Like, I don't want my parents, who clearly love me and are worrying for me, to be so worried, so I'm going to pretend. And like took his whole life, and then that makes him, I think there's a little bit of like the coming out of the closet gay allegory there too, that puts that on him too. But like, we know
was
that
not so much allegory later when he was like, I don't want to go back in the closet.
Oh my God.
It was so funny. So funny.
That was from the first episode?
Yeah.
It was the opposite side of the coin of the first episode.
Yeah. Well, when he's in the car with the kid, he says with his boyfriend, he says, I don't know who I am. He's like, I want to tell you everything. I want to be who I really am, whoever that is. And like, I think that sort of hiding yourself, I have similar experience in my life where like I felt like I was not being my true self for a long time, and like there's just like a lot of I don't know, it really, really made me feel for the kid. And like you trying to be everything you feel like you're supposed to be instead of being who you just are. And he hasn't been able to do that for anyone, and it seemed like the boyfriend was the first person he's been honest with. And that's really meaningful.
Those of us in the mental health space will recognize that as masking.
Yeah, for sure. Because
masking is something we all learn to do when we're just not quite right according to society.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't deal with it. I'm like, you put it in a little box, shove it down, and then you cry in the shower and you're like, why am I so upset? You know? Or you're angry driving. You've been in the car with me.
Dr. Funke thing in the shower.
Yeah. You're it's in moments. Yeah. You just kind of, you're like,
yeah. Ashley's also a never nude.
Yeah.
Ashley also a never nude.
Always in jeans. There are jeans always under here. Jorts for life.
I really liked the fact that we find out what he said under the sigil in the first episode was both names. I thought that was really cool because we did not know that. He's like, I'm like, whatever. I'm William
Kaplan.
William Kaplan.
Yeah, I'm William Kaplan. I'm William Kaplan. I'm Billy Maximoff, and both were sigiled over, so we didn't know that at the time. I thought that was really neat because he's kind of embracing the fact that he is both of those things.
Yeah, because both
That's
of them
really
are
cool
correct.
Part of his character.
Yeah, you would if you couldn't remember anything. I bet because you're like, I don't know who I am.
Yeah, right. Well, it's the nature of researcher, and that's one of the things about the Billy character in comics is like he truly. He was somewhat raised by this family and like feels connected to them and all the things that like they are to him, but also feels fully connected to this his like spiritual mother of Wanda and like that struggle between them. So I love they set that up so well.
Yeah. They said it again. Wanda Maximoff is dead. I'm like, oh, it hurts every time. Oh.
Yeah.
Rude. I kept expecting Eddie to be like, well, I have a secret too. Shapeshift.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that won't work. I don't think he's Hulkling because if he were, well,
I wanted him
possible.
If they called him Derek.
Right. Well, William can hear thoughts. So if he has a big secret, you would think he'd know it by now, but it's possible that he said right now he's saying he can only hear people's thoughts if they're having intense emotions and there's someone he really loves.
Yeah, someone he really cares about.
Yeah, I think that power will likely expand, but that's all he has right now, apparently.
Yeah. Billy and the Hex did not have to love them. He was like, Mama, hear everybody.
Yeah.
Damn, that's rough.
He's like, I don't need you. And then she just laughed in his face. Agatha, oh my God, it was so good.
Poor kid.
Yeah. Well, you gotta, don't get too big for your little britches there, Billy boy. Little baby Billy.
Billy buddy.
Baby Billy. Sorry. That's
little baby Billy buddy.
It's a different show.
Yeah.
An awesome Billy, though.
Yes, for sure. One of my favorite jokes, the whole thing was, "You're after Toby."
Yeah. She just, there's two of you.
There's two of you.
I love how little she cares about them.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Well, that's what I thought was funny about Ralph Randall Boner. As horrible.
Sorry, I love that. I love that name. That's his official name now. Ralph Randall Boner.
That's what George R.R. Martin stands for. It's, George Ralph Randall Boner Martin.
Which one is hyphenated? It's all hyphenated.
It's the 2 dots over the O's. For as messed up as everything Wanda did, and as horrible as he made that sound, he sure made Agatha sound a whole lot worse than anything that Wanda was doing.
Yeah. She stole my house. She called me her husband. I was a prisoner. I had to keep a nice lady, handcuffed and prisoner in my attic. And then the single tear falls as he's talking about it. Like, he's talking about Monica. He's talking about Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
That's who you could reference for who got powers when dealing with the Hex. Can you do stuff now? You mean like wake up at every hour of the night screaming? No, like superpowers, but that sounds fine.
There's nothing wrong with that, bud.
Have you thought about maybe therapy?
Sounds like he definitely needs it. Oh, poor Ralph Randall. Yeah, I don't think that it's weird. As I've said before, I think Agatha, most of her actions in that show to most of the people in Westview were heroic in a way. Like, she didn't really torture many people in Westview. But Ralph's the one exception. Like, she was very much in his house and like stole his house apparently, and he just ran away.
She ruined the resale value.
Ruined it. Absolutely.
Completely trashed the resale value. Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah, man, I love Evan Peters so much. Like, his both ability and willingness to be such different kinds of actors when he needs to be. Like, his performance as Dahmer, everyone's really happy with it, and it's so serious. But then you get to this, and it's just like, he's willing to just be like a weird conspiracy theory guy, Ralph Boner.
He's always... God, what? Kick-Ass? And then he's in every single season of American Horror Story. And if you want to talk about like James McAvoy, like range, he has played every kind of character on that show. It's crazy.
You just blew my mind. I've only seen the first season of
he's
American Horror Story. I forgot that was him. Back when I saw that, I didn't know him. I wouldn't have known his face. And you're totally right. That is crazy.
We saw
He's really good in that too.
And I was like, that kid's going places.
Yeah, me too. I always thought he was great in that, but I did not recognize him as Evan Peters. That's awesome. Wow, that makes me want to watch American Horror Stories, even though I don't like the horror things.
You don't like horror stories?
Not a lot.
That's fine.
fun.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Season.
Oh man, a great moment. Did you guys notice some of the history of Agatha that he scrolled through?
Yes.
She said photos show real Jolene. She was the
redhead.
Redhead that stole Dolly's man, or had the chance to steal
auburn
Dolly's
hair.
man.
Yeah. That was fun. She was at the Hindenburg going down. She was at a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Google on TV, man. Wow. Okay.
Very powerful. I really liked her line about she chose a town of strangers over her own flesh and wires.
Her own flesh and wires.
Really good.
Who knows where Papa Robot or Robo Papa? Who knows where Robo Papa is, or in how many pieces?
Yeah.
Oof.
How cool is it going to be that like, it's got me excited because, okay, we know Tommy is what he's looking for at the end of the road.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll get there. I don't know if he'll get Tommy. I think he probably will. But he also said, I was thinking, based on how this all went down, and he apparently, as a witch, attached himself to a dead body, which is apparently a thing witches can do if they're powerful enough or whatnot. Agatha made it seem like it was Billy's choice to do that. And
she also made it seem like it was against the rules.
Well, all things witches do are against the natural rules. Is how I took that, right? Because she said, like, you broke the rules, you survived. That's what makes you a witch.
I don't think you're supposed to, like, jump into bodies. I always feel like that's like a no-no for the spiritual realm.
That's someone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Even Wonder Woman had to give her boyfriend back.
Right.
Sorry, we don't talk about Wonder Woman 84. Don't worry about it, Jeff.
What? Who?
I really took that as a sort of explanation of what witches do. Like, they break the natural laws with all their spells and magic to, like, survive, because that's what they have to do to survive, and that's what makes them a witch.
I don't know.
There's green witches, there's white witches, there's good witches, bad witches, there's
I'm not saying
evil witches.
I'm not saying they have to do evil things. I'm saying that all of that breaks the natural laws. Like, this magic in itself is a breaking of the natural order or whatever. That's kind of
changing the natural order from because you're taking something that is and making it something that it was not.
Right. And that's kind of what I took it. I didn't take it as evil necessarily, or has to be involving taking dead bodies, but, like, that's just one of the things that he did to break the rules.
I don't know, man.
I loved that whole thing.
I think I really want them to go more into, because he's got that spell book, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like it's like printed out. Like somebody went through the process of printing that spell book. So, like, there's got to be rules in there, right? There have
Billy's?
to be. Huh. Billy's book. Yeah.
I think he did that. That looks like his little witch journal.
Yeah, I thought he was just writing in that.
That's
no. The one that was the release spell that he started chanting the Latin incantation, like, that was printed. That was like that was a published book that he had.
Okay,
and it's probably like the Book of Shadows for
Yeah.
So what I was going to say about Tommy is Billy seemed like he hijacked a body because he's a witch. It's kind of how Agatha made it sound, but. So that made me think, okay, what if he goes to the end to get Tommy, and that's him literally manifesting
pulling
Tommy?
Him.
Like, what if Tommy doesn't exist? But then he said, I can feel him. He's out there somewhere. And I'm wondering if that's like a literal thing, like he already exists, similar to what Billy did for 3 years, or in which case, I don't know how he attached himself to a body as a speedster, like whatever. I don't know. Speed Force can do a lot of things. I've seen The Flash.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But I like, or does he just mean he's out there somewhere, as in he's out there in the ether, in the spirit realm? Is he going to take him out of Mephisto's hands, whatever? Is that how we get Mephisto? Like, he pulls Tommy, and Mephisto shows up right behind him, like, no, you can't have him,
Mm-hmm.
He's mine.
I wonder if they might make him a mutant. You know me, I'm not going to ever get off the mutant chain. Like,
oh, you have
to. But maybe because, Quicksilver was a little bit more of a, was a mutant. I mean, they were both mutants, but she was still a witch. Whatever.
Yeah, they both are. So I think, right? Aren't they both mutants?
Yeah, but it's too late to kind of like take it back with her. Or did they say she had the mutant gene and that's why her witch power was? No, it was just that she was a witch. Since they've already kind of gone the witch route, like they could have him be mutated or something from the hex. Like,
it's very possible that whatever is suppressing the mutant gene in this universe, a lot of people have speculated it might have to do with the snaps. Well, if that's the case, it's very possible the use of the Mind Stone to create the miracles was unlocking that same sort of X gene that is missing in the, in this universe. So we don't know if they're going to go that way or if they're ever going to explain it, but apparently mutants are now starting to pop up, or they've always been here and we just didn't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, because Agatha said that the Mind Stone took what would have died on the vine and made it into whatever Wanda is.
Right. Okay.
Like, that was her explanation when they went through Wanda's past. Ugh.
Gotcha.
It spun her greatest hits.
Man, so much good stuff in this episode. Anything y'all want to touch on before we jump into some feedback?
Yes. Tons. I don't know.
Absolutely. We'll keep talking, of course.
The feedback always helps.
Let the speed force speak through you.
Let the feedback force. Okay, Riley Kent, our social media friend who helps us out, said the sigil works on the witch who casts it. Right, when you called that out when I couldn't remember that.
Pre-read, Matt.
No, I can't. I can't pre-read. I've got to talk before I read. David Cordero says Orville Peck mentioned. Yeah, I'm glad somebody else out there likes Orville
I can't
Peck.
wait to Friday, baby. Friday.
Oh, you're going to see him?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, she said that.
I missed it. Sorry. I don't pre-read. I also don't listen to anything.
It's fine. Perfect for podcasting.
Perfect. I'm a really good scene improviser.
Yeah.
I'm really good for that. Dylan James says, Agatha is fully back to being her wicked self. Did you guys get that vibe?
Yes. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
The way she climbed out of the muck and just
that stuff was so gross.
Yeah.
That whatever they put on her was sticky.
It was very sticky.
It felt very, very horror like if it had been red, it would have been a great scene out of what's that movie where they're like under the ground and there's those creatures? You know what I'm talking about?
Is it the one where they're spelunking?
Yeah. What's that one?
The Descent.
The Descent, and she's like climbing through blood and stuff like that. Reminded me of that.
Very much.
Of course, it's brown.
Yucky.
Ugh.
Yucky. I don't like it. Give me more. I hate it.
We talked about it last week, but Billy seems like he's a good guy, as it were. Like he says, I'm not that nice a person, but he seems like a pretty nice person. If I'm
not like you,
but he's not like Agatha, and Agatha seems as they said, like full wicked self. So I'm just curious what the rest of the road is going to be like. Are they just antagonistic toward each other the whole time? Are they going to reconnect? Are the other witches really gone? Which I don't think we've really talked about it enough. I don't think they're really gone, especially now that they're all gone. I think there's no way they're all gone. But even Alice, who's had her, like we saw die, I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's gone. Like,
because Rio's with her.
Yeah.
Mistress Death.
We didn't talk enough about it when Alice died because, like, that last episode before, 2 episodes ago, the song episode, the 70s episode, was so good and such a great cathartic end for Alice. But then she died immediately. Like, as soon as she had the demon off her shoulders, she's finally free. Like, the line is broken. The curse is broken. Her family curse is gone. And then she died, like, completely unceremoniously the next episode.
You know what's funny? I saw something, not my thought, and I can't remember where I saw it, somewhere on the internet. Someone said Lilia. Remember the first thing she says is, like, save Agatha?
Yeah,
and then later she said, don't, try to save Agatha. And at one point, one of the things she says is don't. So what if the ghost was Alice's mom saying, don't try to save Agatha? But it just wasn't coming out right. Because then she tried to save her and it killed her. I don't know. I feel like that death also has to stick.
We know now that it's not dead people talking through her. She says it's time displacement. So that's her saying those things. And I thought the tower reversed line might be something as well. And also we know that her trial, at least we are assuming it's her trial, looks like it's some sort of castle or tower.
Now I think that might be Billy's.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Wizard of Oz would be very on par for, like, with all the little stuff in the background in the brown, and for him it would be great. And I that one better be a musical. I need some Wicked style Witches Road songs in that one, please.
Yeah, we need some like Elphaba songs or whatever.
They're on this road, and when they get to the end, they get that thing that they want the most. Who is the wizard? Who's the great Wizard of Oz?
Oh, Mephisto for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's Mephisto. Oh yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I've never thought he wasn't coming. I just thought he wasn't here yet.
You're allowed to be wrong.
I swear I was on this train the whole time.
Matt's retconning his entire podcast.
Go back
history.
and listen to it.
He's like, from episode 1, I've talked about Mephisto.
Y'all were way Mephisto focused, and I was like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We saw the big picture from the very beginning.
Yeah, I've been seeing the tapestry. It's there. It's all there.
I only had one red string this whole time.
That's what I made my tapestry with.
I had to hold on to it for dear life.
I've been like a Sisyphean tail. I've been carrying my red string up this hill this whole time, and I can finally connect it to the board.
I can put it on the board.
It's not a stork. It's not a fly. It's not a locust.
They said it, and I
said it.
Who else could it? I mean, I guess it could be Wanda. Though if this is that's a really good call.
Could be the Sorcerer Supreme.
What if it is doctored, or Clea and doctored? But I guess they're busy.
Absolutely,
it's got to be Wong. Wong's the Sorcerer Supreme.
That's possible. What if it's Shang-Chi? Let's get to meet. Let's bring some people back together.
Bring me Shang-Chi into something. Shit.
Shang-Chi would be such a weird choice for the wizard at the end of this, though.
No, it's actually just Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, surprise.
And he's just like, I can do magic.
He's been Mephisto all along.
Who went through y'all's head when they were like giving us all those illusions that they're going to meet up with someone in that garage? Like, who went through your head? Jimmy Woo was the first one that popped into my head.
Well, when he said like, "There's somebody who was there that's willing to talk to me," I was like, "Oh, it's Ralph Bohner."
It's going
to be Ralph Bohner.
I didn't get there until I saw him.
Trying to think of everybody who was a side character. And I was like, maybe it'll be the other neighbor.
I was thinking of one of the other neighbors or whatever. But the way they kept talking about it, I was like, it's going to be connected to something. It's going to be something. And I liked that we got kind of confirmation that when he said, I had a different experience than everyone, she stole my whole life. I was like, oh man, are we going to get confirmation that he was Quicksilver and then he was pulled out? Like she was like, I had a whole different experience. Mine was worse. And I was like, what is he going to say? What is he going to say? Are we getting a big multiversal connection? He's like, oh no, she just like sold his house or whatever. Or like ruined his...
ruined his credit. That's pretty bad.
She ruined his credit.
In 2025 or whatever year it is, the show 27. Aren't they a couple years ahead of us?
I don't know anymore.
That was 3 years back. I can't,
my credit score was 800.
Now it's 325.
I'm thinking multiversal connections, and he's like looking at his credit karma, very upset.
Yeah.
He's like, I got all 3 bureau reports.
I felt that.
None of them match.
Yeah.
They're all wrong. None of them match, and they're all bad.
Let's have a few more of these feedbacks. Cameron Cody says, how surprised were you when they revealed that Billy possessed the body of William? The thought occurred to me at the start of the episode during the backstory before the accident.
I mean,
I'm okay with it. I mean, that was an empty bottle. Yeah.
Yeah. There's an empty body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just laying around.
Yeah.
It's still warm.
Still warm. Gosh. I'd heard it theorized a lot that the accident in the first episode was going to tie into where Billy came from. A lot of people said because there were 2 people in the car and then they were thinking Wanda might have been the other person driving metaphorically or whatever, that like they would be Tommy and Billy, but that wasn't it. And still they said 2 people in the car, which one of them wasn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
One of them was Billy. So I don't know if that car theory makes sense from the first episode because there were 3 people in the car. Unless Billy doesn't count as a person.
I honestly can't even remember the scene. Was it a shot from the back seat when the car crashed?
No. The scene we're talking about is just when Agatha's talking about a car accident in Eastview, and they're thinking it might be connected to the Wanda body that they found.
Oh, okay.
It's while she's in the
it was on the TV show thing. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So nothing has to make sense. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, nothing has to make sense. So that's the thing. Yeah. It's like whatever, but it probably does in some metaphorical way that we're just not sure about yet.
Well, she probably couldn't see him because of the sigil. Because that was a witchy thing that happened. Going into somebody's body.
Yeah, I like the line when Agatha says, every witch with a beating heart knows you now.
Yeah,
because his power's so great that like it like reverberated through the like whatever the web of power of witches. It's really rad.
I see a good one here. I wonder if Rio is mad that Billy stole one of her bodies.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, my theory's out the window. About them being involved. Like, both of them being, not like involved with getting Agatha out. Like, they were kind of working together maybe a little bit. Because they both showed up at the same time.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't look like Billy knew anything about her.
No.
What? It was interesting in this episode, though, when he was looking through the window and seeing Agatha talking, where we know that she was, in her detective cop episode, she was talking to Rio, Agent Vidal or whatever, but they had the drape. The curtain is the word.
We never saw her.
We never saw her. The curtain was covering where she was.
That's a good call.
Was she actually even there?
Was she there? That's a question. What does she look the same? Is another question. Like, was she actually her? Or is the real life version of her something different? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. That's really interesting. Good call.
Yeah, like, was she just making something up? Or did Billy, in his reality warping, manifest her?
Yeah. Ooh, interesting. Okay, Adam Dell, friend of the network, said, so purple string theory, you may have mentioned it and I missed it, I missed some, but what if Billy finds Tommy's soul and it ends up being Evan Peters' body? Ooh.
I don't know if I like that.
I think the thing about that is the age difference is just too great, I feel like. Evan Peters is like an adult to them in the show, in the WandaVision, and Billy is supposed to be around, or Tommy's supposed to be around Billy's age, so if they're twins. So I feel like that wouldn't be, could be.
Evan Peters has a baby face.
Evan Peters has a baby face. I don't know that I would like that, though, because, like, if they're going to be on the Young Avengers,
Yeah, exactly. Like Quicksilver from 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, we have the Young Avengers and Grandpa Tommy over here.
I'm just imagining, Hulk and Thor's conversation and him be like, no, I am the oldest Avenger.
I can still run circles around you, Sonny.
He's like, my knees.
I used to be fast, but this arthritis.
He goes, it's like Batman. There's no more cartilage in your knees, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. This speed thing that he has had so many knee replacements at this point.
Many.
So many.
He just needs vibranium at this point.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good call. That's a really good call. If he had to get vibranium knees at some point, Quicksilver. Great. I love that.
I would get vibranium knees, but I hear, when the weather acts up, you can't walk. There's a storm coming. I can't run.
Vibranium knee. It's like that scene they redo that scene where Magneto pulls the metal out of Wolverine. It's just Quicksilver's knees.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Daddy, no,
Dad, why?
It's not as life threatening, but he's like, no, my knees.
It's like Misery.
This is stupid. Yeah. Misery is him.
Did you ever heard of blocking?
Riley Kent says, need the post-credit scene of Ralph Boner's one-man show.
Yeah, what's that about?
Really gotta fill seats.
That would have been wonderful. Okay, Dylan James says, it seems like both Billy and Agatha have powers that they can't fully control. It's possible. Yeah, we think that about Agatha, at least. That would be interesting.
Maybe.
And I think from Agatha, it seems like that one power she might not be able to control of sucking life force. But with Billy, it seems like he's just new and untrained.
Mm-hmm.
Little baby
Agatha.
Agatha.
Get dramatic about it.
Yeah.
I forgot we talked about little baby newborn Agatha sucking the soul out of the random witch that, tried to use prestidigitation to clean her up.
Yeah.
She just can't stop doing it.
She's like, oh no, my power now.
I have a feeling that I like that theory works too, but I like the theory that like it's part of her whatever trade she made for the Darkhold. The Darkhold or something is where she got that. That's her monkey's paw, as it were, that she can't be around other witches because she ends up killing them by mistake.
We got to go through her pact book.
Yeah. Xander Braden says Dr. Strange got in trouble for possessing a dead body in Mom.
Yeah, it's a big problem. You're not allowed to jump into the dead bodies.
Yeah.
Stephen Strange!
He got in trouble. How did he get in trouble? Was it that the race came after him, right?
Yeah, because you're not allowed to inhabit a dead body for very long.
You're not supposed to, what was it, dream walking or whatever?
Yeah, you're not supposed to dream walk. So I wonder, that may be just a different type of inhabiting a dead body, but
it's still taking over a dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like 3 years later, shouldn't this dead body that Billy's in be like decomposed or, not alive?
Right. Definitely inhabiting it differently.
He's using that chaos magic. Don't ask too many questions, Jeff.
Okay, my bad.
Chaos magic.
The body he dreamwalked into in Mom was already dead and like already buried.
It was dead for a while.
So he jumped in there. It was already like a zombie body.
Or was it that it was like his own body in a different realm?
Well, that's what dreamwalking is.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, what's so much fun? It's so much fun. I'm so glad Sam Raimi got to make that movie.
Me
so
too.
Good. All right. Guinness Lumberjack says that's a great name. Not sure if mentioned, but Alice was a cop who responded to the car accident. Oh,
yeah, she was the officer on scene. Yeah,
that was her. Yeah, I didn't recognize her because she's dressed so differently.
She used to be a cop.
I forgot that. That's right. In the first episode, they say that.
Yeah, she said, I'm a former cop. That's going to be the answer to a lot of questions.
I love that.
So we saw Lilia at his bar mitzvah. We saw Alice at his death. We saw Jen on the internet.
His YouTube skincare.
He uses her skincare products.
Yep.
Wonder if he has any scars.
Well, he had the one on his eyebrow right from the car accident.
Is that everybody? He hasn't met Rio, and he
didn't meet Rio beforehand.
Met Agatha,
unless he did meet Rio beforehand.
He did meet Mrs. Hart too when he's running
with
around
the car.
Yeah, she called him hooligan.
Yeah,
but what if he did meet Rio when she's Lady Death? She greeted him at his own death.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he actually made it to that part, though.
Oh, you don't think so?
It doesn't seem like she could have come to ferry him and find out he was not able to do it.
Well, it's like, how did the bodies all get? Like when the hex exploded, did they just energy just blew out into the other towns? Like they didn't explain it very well.
It didn't explode though. It came in. At the end of the series, it came in like it reduced, and they even said like, "Is it getting smaller?" And then they wrecked. But it came in and then unmade the kids, I guess. We didn't see.
Because the William Kaplan, he died, but Billy made it into that body before his existence was taken away.
It was like when you squeeze something so much and then it's just like, oh, soul got out. Oh, shit.
Well, he heard, as his heart was stopping, you heard her say goodnight to Billy and Tommy, which goes so heartbreaking on both accounts. Like both of them dying at once to be like reincarnated. It was really beautiful. Like I'm super pumped about this as an origin story. Like we've talked a lot about them doing cool little 1-episode origin stories for characters that can later be in the movies. And we know that they have plans for Billy. So this is just cool. I dig it a lot.
It's so dark that Wanda kind of like caused them to die, like that family so much heartache, and that kid to die too because that mom should have been watching the road. I don't mean victim blame, but
let everybody else focus on the crap going on over there.
Yeah,
you got to keep your eyes on the road, but it is kind of hard when there's like a magical hex happening next to you.
You drive. You drive. You tell me where the T-Rex is. I'm gonna drive.
Yeah, right. Must go faster.
It's really funny, like the idea that she did so many bad things in Westview, but the thing that like really caused damage to this family is just being a road distraction.
Yep.
It's like
while turning it off. It is interesting how the other towns were like knew about it, were affected, they were talking about it. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, outside looking at, like, other people are going to be talking about this. You know, Sword is there. The FBI knows about it since Jimmy Woo's there now. Like, everybody knows about the hex who's around it and seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they may not know what it actually is, but like, it's gotta be like, they see it. It's above the tree line. And they call
gas leak.
The Westview anomaly.
Yeah. Shield Avengers training exercise.
Yeah, that went wrong. Sorry.
Xander Braden says she technically got Billy Kaplan's soul. Ooh, that's true. She may have gotten Billy Kaplan's soul.
Yeah,
when he
got Billy Kaplan's soul, but she wants the body. I don't know.
So that is possible that. Ooh, man. A future flashback if we do find out she's death, and it's possible she's standing over the body, taking William's soul away, and then sees the body reanimate, and that's one of the reasons she's back. Like, she reports that to Mephisto or whatever, and Mephisto like sends her back for the kid, you know?
Would be 3 years later?
I guess. Yeah.
They're working on a plan. It's the long con.
All right. Well, that's all the feedback I see in the chat. Man, I'm super pumped, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, YouTube. We got a lot of people watching in the chat. Appreciate y'all.
Give me more episode.
Yeah. This was a meaty one. Like last week we talked so much about how it was 25 minutes long and that sucked.
This was what, 45?
Like 40. Yeah, 40, 45.
It took 35 minutes to get through to like the present.
Right. Yeah. And then the present was so meaty too. So much in there. So much character development for, Billy. Finally, the mask is off. Like, she is Agatha. He is Billy. Like, the thing is happening.
It's happening. It's really happening.
It's happening. All right. Well, that's going to be the cast for tonight. We'll be back with a feedback cast on Tuesday. So get your feedback in to mcucast@gmail.com. Try to keep them tight if you can. We want to get through all of them if we can.
Tight.
And at this point, I feel like this is the point in the show where like we start rolling in lots of feedback because everybody has theories and it's exciting. Try not to give us too much from the mid-season trailer. We're avoiding watching it. Or at least me and Ashley are. Yeah. You guys want to tell anybody about anything you get going on online, guys?
You can just check me out at Bill and Ashley's Terror Theater at all the things.
Yeah. Check that out for sure.
I'm going to be jumping on Animation Deliberation coming up to talk about The Legend of Vox Machina, which is 6 episodes in now and really freaking good. Or rather, 6 episodes into season 3, and this is the point where they're kind of shifting the story to not go necessarily like perfectly aligned with what happened in the campaign. It's really good. The license, the artistic creativity that they're using, and the license that they're taking from their own stuff. It's looking real good, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Sweet. Yeah, check out that at Animation Deliberation, and we do multiverse news every Tuesday night, and it posts every Wednesday. So check out Multiverse News. That's like a podcast where we talk about the news from all over the different universes. So we just Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, blah blah blah, all the stuff. This week was weird because we had almost no geeky things in the news. So we talked about like Wicked and Disney. It's kind of a light news week. So we ended up talking a lot about non-geeky things, which was kind of fun. And check out Always Watching, where we're covering The Penguin. That is just 2 freaking great shows on right now. And they both had really big weeks. So check out Always Watching wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll be back with lots more MCU cast next week. Peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Bye.
Hey, you just listened to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast from Stranded Panda. I really hope you liked it. Let me just say a big thank you to all of our supporters on patreon.com/MCUcast. You are the lifeblood of our little operation here, and a huge thank you to our insanely generous Illuminati tier patrons, Walter Kreisky III, Lieutenant Bongo, and Jazz Viz. You guys are amazing. If you'd like to see our beautiful faces, you can catch a video version of many of our episodes at youtube.com/strandedpanda. Love you 3000, my friends.